we want to start drilling our holes now. So we know that this is our bridge right here where we left the tape on. This is the other end. So I'm going to drill a hole on this side of the bridge, and then I'm going to drill a hole on this side of the bridge. I'm going to cut a groove in the middle of it, and then we're going to set our bird on top of that. Alright, so we got our two holes. This one I'm forming up now with an X-Acto blade. I went ahead and cheated, and I used the drill just to start them. I want these holes to be squared though, so I'm gonna go ahead and so it won't make any sound obviously until I put my bird on there. The bird helps guide the air from this hole into this hole and across the bridge. So we'll show you that part obviously when it gets there. But right now I'm just forming these two holes into squares, and the X-Acto knife really comes in handy with that. If you don't have an X-Acto knife, you can use your regular knife. It's a little harder. You can also use just a regular wood screw, and you can poke the wood screw in there and use it as as kind of like a sander or filer, and you can shape your holes with that. And then we also have the sandpaper, which I'm going to run in through there a few times. Now that we got our two holes squared off, I can take this tape off because I don't any longer need to know where that bridge is. It's already marked by my two holes obviously. And this is the tricky part. This is the part that makes all the sound. I'm going to take my X-Acto knife, and I'm just going to draw a line from corner to corner and corner to corner real lightly. Straight down. Almost messed up there. So straight down real lightly there. Straight down real lightly there. And that is going to be essentially what makes my sound. I'm going to dig this out. This being my first hole closest to my mouth, I'm going to go from a low point. When I dig this groove out, it's going to go from low to high. So I'm going to dig more out here and less out here. It's going to be really tricky, and this is where you want to really take your time. So I want to go dig deeper here, and I want this edge slanted up. It'll be like that. So I'm just going to very carefully start digging it out. You see how I cut that edge away? It's like real sharp of an edge right there now. Real sharp there. And then that goes from low to high. That's what you want. Now, so now what we want to do is we want to make a bird, and I'm just going to make it out of this other piece, and I just want it to cover, I don't want it to cover the second hole, the hole farthest from my mouth. I just want it to cover the first hole. Okay, so it's making really good sound now, and this is what it looks like. Just a flat piece with the groove from low to high, and then I just have my flat bird. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to tie it on with this leather strap. I'm going to make a notch here and a notch here so the leather strap fits over it. And the reason I'm going to tie it on obviously is so I can adjust it over time. So the next thing to do is to make our tuning holes to make our notes, and we'll start on that and we'll show you what's next. I just taped my bird on for now so I can do the tuning of it. You don't want, I went ahead and marked my holes out real quick with the Sharpie, and what it's going to be is it's going to be a 5-hole flute. And if you do your homework on Native American flutes, the 5 notes, it's going to be your pentatonic minor scale. And depending on where you put your holes, this one's going to be set up for a pentatonic minor scale. of whatever note it is. When we get our, we'll get our tuner and we'll see what note it's going to be of the minor scale. Anyway, what you want to do is you do not want your first hole any closer than 4 or 5 inches to your bird. If you do, can you see that? If you put it closer, you won't get any sound out of that note. So what I do is I kind of put my hand over it, and then I do about an inch away from my hand. So there's my first hole. Okay? And then what you want to do is on your last hole, you don't want your hole any closer than about 4 to 5 inches from that. So I do use my hand again, do another inch away from my hand, and there's where my first note's going to be there. Then I just hold it comfortably like that, and I mark the last 3 fingers. As you can see here, mark, mark, and mark. 4 to 5 inches away from the end, you start your first one, your second one, then your third one. You're only going to have 3 holes down there. Again, 4 to 5 inches from your bird is your first finger, and then comfortably away from that is your second finger. You're going to leave a 2 to 3 inch gap between those 2 fingers and 3 fingers. There's my gap. The gap is due to the gap in the pentatonic minor scale. So there's a gap in between notes there. So in order to line them up, I simply look down my flute and line them up with my eye so they're in a row. So we're gonna go ahead, and I have my drill out to make this easier, but we're gonna go ahead and start drilling these holes. Now the size of my hole does matter. The bigger the hole, the higher the note is going to be. So we're going to make one hole at a time, and we're going to test each note while we're making that. So I have my drill to make it a little bit faster. Like I said before, you don't need a drill. You can drill through these with screws, with your knife, with a nail, you know. Screwdrivers that are filed down into a point. You can burn these out a lot of different ways, but I'm just going to use my drill because obviously it's more convenient. Anyway, I'm going to start out with the 3/16 drill bit. You can, if I need to go up in notes as a higher note, or up in the hole size, the bigger the hole, the higher the note. Then I'll go to the 7/32s, and then 1/4. So we're just going to drill these. Brandon's gonna help. We want to go in straight. We want to start slow. You don't want to do this with a lot of pressure, obviously. Okay, Brandon, go ahead. All right, so the flute is in a G. So we got our 2 holes now. We got everything done. My last video, part 1, kind of cut me off. It wouldn't let me upload it. Some of these are too long, so I'm gonna hurry through this. YouTube won't let me put too long of videos on. Anyway, so I went ahead and tuned both of these up, and I'm gonna show you how I do that. Actually, I'm gonna explain it to you. I start out with this smaller 3/16 drill. I drill in, I use my tuner, I blow through it, and I know that the flute itself is naturally tuned to a G. Mine is. That That's due to its, you know, its length, its size, the size of my my bridge. It's just naturally tuned to a G. You'll have to find out where yours is when you make yours. But so when I have all these covered, and you just barely want to breathe through them, it's hard to play. It's going to take some practice, actually. So if you notice down here, you can see the tunage. So it's G flat or G. So G, A, and B. So that's the beginning notes of the G minor pentatonic scale. My others are going to be B flat, C, and D. So I want to try to get these notes, B flat, C, and then D. The bigger the hole, the higher the note. So I just drill with the small drill, try to tune it, drill it out, try to tune it, drill it out if I need to, and try to tune it. It's just trial by error. You don't want to get the hole too big too fast though, because you can't put more material on it. You can only take material off. So start with the smaller drill. What I do is tune this. I have the G note. It's actually G flat, so I got to sand a little bit off of the end here at the very end, but I'm not going to worry about it. G flat's pretty darn close. And then I have the A and the B. So now I'm trying to get the D. So the D's a little bit flat, so I've just went to a larger. So we're done with our flute. I'm gonna rub some oil on here, probably olive oil or something. It didn't turn out like I wanted it to. I messed up the tuning. I think I made my, what is this? D, my D note. I screwed it up. So my tuning is all messed up. So I'm gonna have to try again sometime. It goes G, A, B, my D's messed up, and then I think it goes back to A. So it goes G and then A. So I messed it all up. So anyway, you get the point. Try to make your Native American flute. Good luck. It is tough. This is the second one I've made and the second one I've messed up. I need to fill in this hole somehow, but it was a very, very good effort, and it will be going on the wall anyway. I'm gonna make another one soon. And anyway, the tuning is obviously the hardest part, I guess. So do your homework on it, and thank you very much for your views, your comments, and support, even though I screwed up. And guys, have fun out there. That's what it's all about.